Buying a big villa in Bali on my own felt so unreal. Like a dream. Like I was playing around. All the workers looked at me and asked me what they should do. How big the windows should be and at what level they should be installed. I had no idea. So I measured and imagined. My Bali villa slowly took shape. A totally new shape. I made a sofa by the windows and made it high enough to overlook the rice fields and wide enough to be cozy and comfortable. The empty holes in the walls became beautiful windows with amazing views. I teared down the old kitchen and created a new one. And I decided the height and size of the cupboards, the doors, the drawers, and the new kitchen island. I was in charge of everything. I was just like, how big drawers should I make in this kitchen island? And I made them really big to have room for everything. I made the size of the doors and the wood of the doors and brass handles, and it was so many decisions all the time. The height and the number of switches and plugs and oh my goodness. There was a huge bathroom between my kids' bedrooms, and I decided to make 2 smaller bathrooms and 2 small walk-in closets out of it. And I created a separate parking area and a front garden when I installed a Balinese gate at the entrance. I was putting in pretty much all my energy in creating a home. A new home for myself and my children. And oh my God, it felt like I grew an inch every day. It was a very emotional time. Sometimes I got home at 9:30 in the evening, after a full day of looking at beds and taps and sinks, and just collapsed on the sofa like an empty shell. Sometimes I just cried, because I was so tired, and because so much was going on inside. I was afraid of the unknown. I felt so much guilt of making people sad and angry, and I dealt with my own sadness. My own grief. I remember laying in the bathtub and just sobbing, feeling like the hot water was the only thing that could hold me in those moments of grief and sadness and despair. And feeling this warmth of the water and just letting myself feel all of it. Speaking about emotions. The biggest roadblock for me when it comes to creating the life I've longed for has been my fear of my own emotions, of feeling them. I mean unpleasant ones. Every time I've stood in front of the possibility of change, it has evoked all kinds of strong emotions. And stepping away from my marriage and a planned future, it felt like I was going to die. Repeatedly throughout my life, I have rather stayed with the safe and known and stuffed down the longing for change. I've rather swallowed down this deep desire to feel alive. I was breaking new ground for myself. I was doing what I had never done before. Unrooting the old and planting new seeds. And creating a home gave me a sense of growing deep roots into the ground. The first phase of my house renovation was completed. My kids had their own bedrooms, wardrobes and bathrooms. The kitchen was finished. I had renovated my own bedroom and bathroom, and all the grey was now white. One of the most difficult things to face was the guilt I felt towards my kids. To break up the family, their experience of family being together. But what I told myself was that I really wanted my children to see me happy and to see my ex-husband happy. I wanted them to see us as parents to be thriving and enjoying our life, and so we could be really good role models. I knew that we were not the role models for them that I wanted or wished for them to have. I reminded myself I'm doing this also for them. Not that it made it easy for them, because I really think it's difficult to go through a divorce for a child. But I think, honestly, that it would be more difficult for them to grow up in a relationship where their parents were not happy together. I wanted my daughter and I wanted my son to see their mother thrive. I felt like I was compromising myself to something I was not in order to fit in a life that wasn't mine anymore. So when I stepped out of that relationship and that context, I felt my spirit and my energy, my life energy and my strength come back to me. It's so moving for me because I'm so grateful for that decision, that I dared to do something that was really hard, because I felt it was the truth. And I know now that I would never be who I am today if I had not faced what I faced then.
It wasn't until I was ready to embrace all of it, this mismatch of emotions, that I could begin to make new choices for myself, that I could dare to follow my own inner longing, that tender longing that spoke to me through my heart, through an urge of inspiration when I saw a movie or heard a song, when I heard of others doing what I so deeply wanted to do. My heart always knew. And right then, just days after the workers had left the building, the pandemic hit the whole world. Bali closed the beaches, and the restaurants and shops were empty. The borders closed. Oh, I felt so lucky. Because when the world got more crazy than ever and fear spread like wildfire, I had refuge and a home. I had created a safe harbor in the storm. But little did I know, this was just the beginning.